The Invisible Man Horror Story. Gracia and Valentino seemed like a very happy couple from outside, but the truth was that Gracia was scared of Valentino for her life. Valentino was an intelligent man, but a sociopath who used to physically assault Gracia when angry. One day, Gracia decided that she'll secretly run away from the house. She sought help from her two friends, Martha and Bruce. They helped her to run away from her house and allowed Gracia to stay at their place for a while. A week later, they got this news that Valentino had committed suicide. Gracia couldn't believe this, as she knew Valentino could never take his own life. She asked to see his dead body, but his lawyers told her that his body was already burnt to ashes. When Gracia accepted this fact that Valentino was no more, she shifted back to her old house. Even Martha and Bruce were relaxed with this fact that Gracia was free from Valentino's aggressive behavior. But they were unaware of the fact that the trap was just being set up. The moment she entered the house, she felt that someone ran across from one room to another, but she couldn't see anyone. She thought of it to be a cat and went to her room, ignoring this. When she was sleeping at night, she felt that someone was pulling her sheet. She woke up and found that the sheet was lying on the floor. She picked up the sheet and pulled it back to cover her, but someone was still pulling it away from her. Gracia was now scared, and she immediately called Martha and asked her to come over. She then saw a lot of pieces of paper scattered on the floor. She picked up one of these pieces and found some mathematical equations and formulas written on it. She couldn't understand what it was. She gathered all the papers and decided to burn them. When she went inside to get the lighter, she heard someone's footsteps. The chair moved slightly as if someone sat on it. Gracia assumed that it is the ghost of Valentino. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Gracia, petrified, opened the door and found it was Martha and Bruce who came to check up on her. Gracia told them that someone was sitting on the chair. Bruce and Martha looked carefully but didn't find anyone. They thought that Gracia was still in shock because of Valentino's death. They assured Gracia that she was totally safe and had nothing to worry about. But that's when a rod came flying and struck Martha right on her head. She fell unconscious that very moment. Gracia screamed Valentino's name. They heard Valentino's voice coming from behind, who shouted in a demonic tone, "Gracia!" When Bruce turned behind, he found a skeleton who was approaching him with a rod. Gracia shouted, "This is not possible!" She quickly took a knife in her hands and attacked the skeleton with it. The strange thing was that blood started coming out of the skeleton. Soon, the skeleton started developing muscles over it. The skeleton soon took the form of Valentino. He had now turned completely red. Bruce picked up the lighter on the table and tossed it towards Valentino. Valentino's body started to burn. But he still tried to kill Gracia with whatever strength was left with him. He was burning so fiercely that he couldn't lift himself up off the floor. Valentino finally died after a while. His body was entirely burnt and Valentino seemed completely unrecognizable. Gracia and Bruce took his body and buried him in the garden behind the house and took Martha to the hospital. They were fortunate that she survived, this time. Gracia was finally free of Valentino for good.
If you like this video, subscribe to Bloody Monday and watch chilling horror stories almost every week.